Alright, Efilist video, number 4 I believe. Doesn't really matter. Okay, get through this real quick, the preliminaries. Yeah. Alright, the universe exists, Big Bang, Smig Bang doesn't really matter, repeats doesn't matter. What we do know is it's a physical process. It's quantum of energy that, coalesce, combine, and as slowly as the process of the universe continues, they will, particulate into photons once again. Maybe the whole thing collapses and explodes again. Whether it was because there's a flaw in the universe, an error, a compounded error, like 59 zillion errors, and you finally get to this big a mess, these errors compound, who knows? I just don't think it matters to any kind of philosophical conversation, because the one big question we have an answer to, and that is nothing made it. It's not creation. It's not something poofed, because there'd be nothing to poof it, because you'd have to explain where the poofter came from. No pun intended. Anyway, so yeah, does this evolution thing matter? Does. And so the physics, the atomic structure turns into chemical structure. The elements combine, create compounds. Then sometimes compounds get really funky. They do strange things. And one compound, as far as we know, on planet Earth, did that 4 billion years ago or so. And it's our direct ancestor. Single cell reproduced itself. And its reproduction, its child, reproduced itself. And the game was on. And through billions of years of doing that inaccurately, you end up with a whole bunch of different kinds of forms of that DNA molecule. Some live long, some live short, some big, some small. They're all variations on a theme, competing with each other. Like a million brothers and sisters fighting with each other for the thing called inheritance, for the prize of maintaining themselves and getting themselves into the future. Sorry for the noise. Alright, so I wish to highlight in this video the evolution of consciousness, because there are these people, this guy David Chambers, who sounds like an intelligent guy, but he has a problem with consciousness. And I've heard it before from other people. They think, why would we be conscious? They ask a question like that, as if it wasn't necessary, that we could somehow have a mechanical process that could satisfy the need for behavior without the need for there to be awareness. And I think the obvious explanation, obvious if you conclude that this is the way it happened, we did evolve, and evolution doesn't do things perfectly, was that what happened in sentient organisms, I believe, conscious organisms, is there is sort of a split brain phenomenon. There is one brain creating a world for the other brain to react to. So it's essentially a projector and a viewer. Now the projector would be what I would call our sensations, feelings that have associated with them positive and negative nature. Quite obviously, just feeling isn't necessarily going to get you too far in the world. Just feeling. You have to be motivated. You have to be afraid. You have to be hungry. You have to want. You have to need. And if you're not motivated by a feeling, something that obliges action, wills it in a sense, provokes it, it'll just be an interesting observation. You'll just say, oh, there's an arrow coming right for my head. And if I'm not going to have an emotion, I'm not going to do anything about it. unless I've previously learned to do something about it. But anyway, so that's all that's really happening here, is the feeling brain is creating an atmosphere that has all the motivating consciousness, the sensations of pleasure and pain that are now going to be associated with circumstances by your intelligence. Your intelligent brain, your reasoning brain, your world modeling brain will take in these sensations and attempt to make sense of them, to try to make you immune to the harsh stuff, the negatives, to help you avoid the suffering, the pain, to get yourself free of all that bad stuff. Sorry, having a bit of a distracting moment. People coming. And dog. Hey, how you doing? So yeah, you know, that's it. But that's what's basically happening. Is your brain is more than one brain, really, and the evolved. I would argue the feelings have to. The thinking actually has to come first, because what's the point of feeling if there's nobody viewing? But obviously they work together. So obviously it could be a single moment where the creation of this ouch moment, where there was some way to receive the ouch, to understand it as a negative, and to be able to do something about it, to be able to react in some way, because you had enough brain to react. But that's sort of your brain creates a problem, creates the sensation, because the real world problem doesn't have a sensation tied to it. The beastie that's going to eat you isn't intrinsically obnoxious. Your brain has to make it obnoxious so that you'll do something about it. And that's basically why we feel. And that's why it rises to this level we call consciousness, is because there's really no other way to do it. You can't be conscious without feelings. It just doesn't make any sense. The word doesn't have any meaning. You could be intelligent, perhaps. You could be a thinking machine, but without the feeling, it would fall way short of being anything. And even the thinking machine, I think, needs the feeling machine. There has to be a motivator, some kind of thing that says, you need to bother with this. This is important. You need to think. So again, it's all down to this motivation thing. You can sort of see it in your own brain, the conflict between these brains as you contemplate doing something that it has a short-term discomfort for a long-term gain, like jumping into cold water or something. And you'll have that apprehension moment where there's negotiation going on, where your brain is attempting to deal with its automatic reaction, which is bad sensation, run away, don't do it. And its other part of its logical self saying, it's okay, this is what you're going to do, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. And it's trying to balance those motivators, the motivation to run or to avoid or not to do it, and the logical sense that you know from past experience, it's a good thing, I will reward you if you do it, kind of scenario. You will be rewarded anyway. And so we have to wait till we get the I feel like doing it feeling to fill us before we jump. But that's all it is. And all of this brain crap, all this consciousness is just intended to get us to push through this mush, this world, to eat thy neighbor, to consume his goods, to take, to have, to need, to satisfy need that never needed to exist, that serves no function. We're all chasing nothing, and we're doing it very expensively in terms of how much conscious discomfort we are causing and allowing to exist to accomplish nothing. Oh fuck, somebody here on my working day. Damn it, that's not good. So until next time, I don't feel very well. No big deal, no people.